Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. It's 7 o'clock now, so we will start our class. Can TST please tell me? Can you hear my voice?
Yes, it's very clear.
Okay, Jazakallah. So it's 7 o'clock now, so we will start our class with the starting prayers. Can I have an ID for the starting prayer?
Yes, N8329.
N8329.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah. N8329, can you please recite the starting prayer for everyone?
Okay. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. Lord, expand my mind and make my task easy for me, and remove every impediment from my speech, that people may understand easily what I say.
Jazakillah in 8329.
Jazakallah.
Now I would like to request the TA to go over the class etiquettes.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam.
So before the lesson, please perform wuzu and cover your head and revise your lesson and sit with an adult in a quiet room and keep your audio and video off, and please log in with your correct ID. And during the lesson, please listen attentively to the class, recite the verses alongside the online recitation, and do not raise hand unless you're requested to. And after the lesson, revise your lesson and complete your assigned homework. And for contact, we've got info@nqc.org.uk. And please be reminded that these classes offer additional support to learning, and they're not a replacement for one-to-one learning at home.
Jazakillah. So now we are going to move towards our lesson. And today we are just going to be revising the entire syllabus. So I will start the breakout room, and I would like to request all the students, if you receive an invitation, please join the breakout room and do not leave the breakout room until you are requested by the teacher. All right. Can I now have an IT so that I can listen to the hifz?
Yes. A7333.
Assalamu alaikum.
A7333. Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah.
Surah Al-Nashrah.
Okay. Have you memorized Surah Al-Inshirah completely?
Yes.
Okay. So you can start reciting from the beginning. Start with Tawbas.
بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. ألم نشرح لك صدرك ووضعنا عنك وزرك الذي أنقض ظهرك ورفعنا
Can you
لك
recite that again? الذي
الذي أنقض ظهرك ورفعنا لك ذكرك فإن مع العسر يسرا إن مع العسر يسرا فإذا فرغت فانصب وإلى ربك فارغب.
Okay. Jazakallah is 7333. So first of all, well done for memorizing the entire surah. let's go to the surah. Okay, so your memorization was really good, but I will highlight a few mistakes in terms of pronunciation. So first of all, in verse 3, and verse 4. Okay, I have highlighted these letters, Nun, Sakin. Do you know what rule you have to apply here?
Itlaq.
Okay, not Iqlab. So you have to apply the rule of Ikhfa here. And do you know what you have to do for that?
I have to hide the sound of noon.
Yes, that's right. You have to conceal the sound of Nun and make a slight nasal sound. So, وَوَضَعْنَا عَنْكَ وِزْرَكَ. Okay?
وَوَضَعْنَا عَنْكَ وِزْرَكَ.
Okay, well done. And you have to apply the same rule here in verse 4 and also in verse 8. Okay?
Okay.
All right. And the second rule which I would like you to learn is this. So, in both of these cases, there's something common, right?
Yeah.
So, what is it? What's the common thing?
They have a mushaddad on top.
Yeah, they have the shad sign on top, and so this letter, it will be called Noon Mushaddad. And do you know what rule you have to apply here?
Do I have to prolong it for 3 seconds?
Okay, so because of the shad, you have to stress on the letter Noon. And yes, that will, when you stress on it, it will be prolonged for 2 seconds, but you also have to make nasal sound. Okay? So, فَإِنَّ مَعَ الْعُسْرِ يُسْرًا.
فَإِنَّ مَعَ الْعُسْرِ يُسْرًا.
Okay, can you also try verse 7?
إِنَّ مَعَ الْعُسْرِ يُسْرًا.
Okay, well done. That was much better. So keep practicing and inshallah it will get even better. Jazakallah, A7333.
And I also learned Wateen.
Okay, all right, that's really good. You can start reciting.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. والتين والزيتون وطور سينين وهذا البلد الأمين. لقد خلقنا الإنسان في أحسن تقويم ثم رددناه أسفل سافلين إلا الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات فلهم أجر غير ممنون فما يكذبك بعد بالدين أليس الله بأحكم الحاكمين.
Jazakallah, A7333. So let me go to the surah. So again, well done for memorizing the entire surah. In terms of pronunciation, again, I will highlight a few mistakes. Some of them were similar to the last surah which you just recited, and some of them are new. So let's start with the same ones. Okay, so here on Noon Sakin. I mentioned it to you just now. What do you have to do here?
Conceal the sound of noon.
Yes, that's right. And what about here?
I have to stress it and prolong it for 2 seconds
Yes, and the second thing I mentioned?
and make a nasal sound.
Yeah. So, can you recite verse 6 and make sure to make the nasal sound?
ثم رددناه أسفل سافلين.
Okay, well done. That was really good. Now, so can you tell me what's common between these three letters?
They all have a word called fatah.
Yes, that's right. And do you know how long you have to prolong that for?
2 seconds.
Yeah, so yours was a little bit short, okay? So
Okay.
recite slowly and try to prolong it for 2 seconds, okay? So can you recite verse 7 again?
إلا الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات فلهم أجر غير ممنون. أجر غير ممنون.
Okay, well done. You did the qalqala really well. I'll say it again. If you keep practicing, then even if you have a short breath, it will become easier for you to, because if you have short breath, I know it's hard to prolong everything for the required time, but if you keep practicing, then it will get better, okay?
Okay.
One more thing I want to mention is this. So here, and also in this word here, we have the big ha, and you know that we have to pronounce it from the middle of the throat, right?
Yeah.
It should sound different. You see this ha?
Yeah.
The sound of this one is different from this one, right?
Yeah.
And to do that, for this one, we should make the sound from the middle of the throat. Ahsani taqweem. Okay?
Okay. Ahsani taqweem.
Okay. So can you recite the last verse?
أليس الله بأحسن الحاكمين.
Okay, well done. Keep practicing and it will, you will improve even more, okay?
Okay.
Jazakallah is 7333.
Jazakallah.
Then we have the next student.
Yes, N8348.
And 8348. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam.
Okay, just give me a second.
Okay.
Okay, and 8348. Previously, you have memorized and recited up to. Okay,
Surah Al-Ala up to verse number 13.
Okay, Jazakallah. Surah Al-Ala up to verse 13. Have you memorized the next few verses?
Yes.
Okay, how many?
I've tried to memorize all of it. I memorized all of it, but I forgot some parts of it, so.
Okay, that's fine. I will try to help you.
Okay.
So if you can start reciting from verse 8 and go all the way up to the end. Do you know how it starts?
No.
Okay, it starts with illa.
Okay.
Illa masha Allah.
Okay, should I start?
Yes.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إلا ما شاء الله إنه يعلم الجهر وما يخفى ونيسرك لليسرى فذكر إن نفعت الذكرى سيذكر من يخشى ويتجنبها الأشقى الذي يصلى النار الكبرى يصلى النار الكبرى ثم لا يموت فيها ولا يحيا قد أفلح من تزكى وذكر اسم ربه فصلى بل تؤثرون الحياة الدنيا
Well,
والآخرة خير وأبقى إلا الله إنه هذا
okay. لفي الصحف
إن هذا لفي الصحف أولى صحف إبراهيم وموسى.
Alright, I need 3 for it. Jazakillah. So your hips was really good. You just forgot a little bit in the last 2 verses. So
Okay.
if you keep revising and practice it over and over again, then inshallah you'll become more fluent in the recitation of this surah. Okay, so in terms of pronunciation, I'm going to highlight a few mistakes now. First of all, in verse 8, I have highlighted this alif with the madde kabir. Do you know what mistake you made here?
I didn't prolong it for long.
Yes. And do you know how long you have to prolong it for?
5 seconds.
Okay, so a minimum of 4 seconds. So if you are short of breath, then you can pause here, okay? But
Okay.
make sure to prolong this for a minimum of 4 seconds. Can you recite this verse again?
Okay. إلا ما شاء الله.
Okay. Allah. Remember to make the lam thick, okay?
Okay.
Right, continue.
إنه يعلم الجهر وما يخفى.
All right. Jazakillah. The
Yes.
second mistake here. I've mentioned this before many times to many other students. A lot of students make this mistake. So it's very common. Let's see if you know what it is.
I didn't join the 2 letters together.
No. So you did join, but on top of zal, we have shad, right? So we have to stress on it and make a double sound. Sayazakaru. But you didn't make a double sound. Okay?
Okay.
So can you recite this verse again?
Yes. سيذكر من يخشى.
All right, well done. That was much better. And okay. So in verse 13 and verse 15, can you tell me, I have highlighted the letter ba, sakin, and dal, sakin. Do you know what rule you have to apply here?
Kalkala.
Yes, that's right. So can you recite verse 15 again?
Okay. قد أفلح من تزكى.
Okay. It was much better. Aflaha. Okay. Ha should be as short as the lam with the fatha stroke. Okay. Just 1 second. don't prolong it for any longer than that.
Okay.
Okay. And then you did really well in verse 18. The qalqala here, it was really clear. So just be careful of all the places where you have to apply similar rules, okay?
Okay.
And don't forget about it. All right, Jazakillah, I need 348.
Jazakallah.
Ask her about Surah Al-Ghashiyah.
Have you memorized any of the other surahs?
No.
Okay. Any of the shorter ones? The small ones?
I've memorized all of Surah Deen.
Okay.
She already recited.
All right. So just try your best to memorize one of the other surahs, okay? The smaller ones.
Okay.
And well done for memorizing, finishing and completing Surah Al-Ala, okay? Jazakillah, I need 348.
Jazakallah.
Can we have the next student?
Yes. A7330. Yes, please unmute it.
A7330. A7330, Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam.
Okay. So previously, you have recited and memorized up to Surah Al-Ala, Surah Al-Ghashiyah, verse 7. Have you memorized the next few verses?
They're not all of them, but I have Surah Teen
Okay,
and
have you
Surah Al-Inshirah.
you have completed Surah Teen and Surah Al-Inshirah?
I haven't done all of Surah Al-Inshirah.
Okay, let's start with Surah Teen.
Okay. Should I start?
Yes, please.
Okay. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والتين والزيتون وطور سينين وهذا البلد الأمين لقد خلقنا الإنسان في أحسن تقويم ثم رددناه أسفل سافلين إلا الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات فلهم أجر غير ممنون فما يكذبك بعد بالدين أليس الله بأحكم الحاكمين.
All right, Jazakallah is 7330. So first of all, well done for memorizing the entire surah. Okay, so in terms of pronunciation, I will highlight a few mistakes. And if you can make a note of them and practice them later. So first of all, in verse 5, we have this letter qaf. Do you know how to make the sound for this? So do you know what's
Right.
the difference between the sound of this qaf and, let me find an example.
Is it deeper than the other calf?
Yes, so this one, it has a soft sound. Yukadhibuka. This one, the one with two dots, it has a thick and heavy sound. خَلَقْنَا الْإِنسَانَ. Okay? So can you recite this verse again?
Okay.
Verse 5.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم لقد خلقنا الإنسان في أحسن تقويم.
Okay, so another mistake, I mentioned it to one of the previous students as well. Here on this dal sakin, And then on this qaf sakin, we have to perform qalqala. Do you know what you have to do for that?
No.
So you have to make a jerking sound. So instead of laqad, full stop, laqad khalaq. Can you hear it?
Yeah.
The difference?
Yeah.
Okay. Can you recite the verse again?
Okay.
And also one more rule you have to apply in this verse. On nun sakin, I mentioned it to the previous student. Let's see if you're listening carefully. Do you know what rule you have to apply here?
No.
Okay, so you have to conceal the sound of noon. Do you know how to do that?
No.
Okay, so son. Okay, with a slight nasal sound. Okay, now can you please recite this the verse?
Okay. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. لقد خلقنا الإنسان في أحسن تقويم.
All right, that was much better. So keep practicing and it should get better. All right, let's see. Do you know what you have to do here?
Do you want to like say them? Did I prolong it?
No, so you have to make nasal sound, okay? Instead of summa, thumma, okay? And you can do it for 2 seconds counts or beats, okay? And again, the rule of qalqala, you have to apply it here. Radadnahu. Can you recite this verse as well?
Okay. ثم رددناه أسفل سافلين.
All right, well done. That was much better. So you said that you have also started Surah Al-Inshirah.
Yeah.
Okay. Can you start reciting it and we'll see how much you remember.
Okay. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. ألم نشرح لك صدرك ووضعنا عنك وزرك الذي أنقذ ظهرك. I think that's all I know of it.
Okay. Let's go to the surah. So first of all, well done. In terms of memorization, it was good. Try to memorize the next few verses as well and finish this surah off. In terms of pronunciation, the mistakes were similar to the last surah. So let's see if you remember. So what do you have to do here on dal sakin?
I need to make a jerking sound.
Yes, that's right. So you have to apply the rule of qalqala. Can you recite this verse again?
Okay. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alam nashrah laka zakrak.
Sadrak. Can you say it again?
The whole verse.
Yes, you can say the whole verse.
Alam nashrah laka sadrak.
Okay, that was much better. And one more thing. So in both of these places, you have to apply the same rule. And I mentioned to the previous student, as well as your previous surah, which you just recited. So what do you have to do here?
Make a nasal sound.
Okay, not nasal sound. Nasal sound is here. Okay, when you memorize this verse, make sure that you make nasal sound on this noon mushaddad. Okay, in. But here we don't have the sign of shad, right? Here you have to conceal the sound of noon. وَوَضَعْنَا عَنْكَ وِزْرَكَ. You have to kind of hide the sound of noon. Okay? Do you understand?
Yeah.
Okay, can you recite this verse, verse 4?
Okay. الذي أنقذ ظهرك.
Okay, that was much better. So this is where you have to apply the rule of ikhfa and conceal the sound of noon. So just keep practicing and inshallah it will get better. Jazakallah is 7330.
Jazakallah.
Can we have the next student?
N8320.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah.
Surah Shams.
8320.
Yeah.
So previously you have completed Surah Al-Fatiha, Surah Al-Ala and Surah Al-Ghashiyah. Have you started memorizing any of the next surahs?
I was revising one of Surah Shams because there was lots of mistakes.
Okay, Surah Shams.
No, I mean
So-
Surah Ghashiyah.
Sorry?
I was revising Surah Ghashiyah.
Okay, so you haven't started memorizing any of the next surahs
No.
yet? Okay, that's fine. So let's do a revision from Surah Al-Ghashiyah. So if I ask you to recite from verse 10 to verse 15, can you do that?
Yes.
Okay. You can start with Tawuz.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. Is it from verse 5 or verse 10?
Verse 10.
لا تسمع فيها لاغية فيها عين جارية.
Okay. You've started reciting from verse 12. Should I tell you where verse 10 starts?
لسعيها راضية.
Yes.
Sorry. لسعيها راضية في جنة عالية لا تسمع فيها لاغية فيها عين جارية فيها سرر مرفوعة وأكواب موضوعة.
All right. N8320. Jazakillah. So let's go to the surah. So your hifz is really good and your pronunciation has improved as well. Just a few mistakes or corrections that you need to make. So first of all, as you can see, all of these verses end with the letter ha, right?
Yeah.
But I couldn't hear the sound of ha very clearly at the end when you were pausing. So when you pause at the end of the verse, I couldn't hear it clearly. So can you recite verse 10 again and make sure to make a clear sound?
Okay. لسعيها راضية
Okay. Radiyah.
راضية.
All right. So keep practicing and it will get better, inshallah. And in verse 13, okay, so this might be a hard one. Do you know what you have to do here?
You need to do gunna.
Okay, not gunna. So on noon, we have the double dhamma stroke, right? And it's called tanween, dhamma tanween. And when you join this word with the next one, you have to conceal the sound of the tanween. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So, Ainun Jariyah.
Ainun Jariya.
Okay. Can you recite the complete verse?
Fiha Ainun Jariya.
Okay. Again, it's not Ainun. Ainun Jariyah.
Fiha Ainun Jariya.
Okay, that was much better. So just take these two rules with you and try to improve them a little bit at a time, okay?
Okay.
Jazakallah, N8320. Can we have the next student?
A7342.
A7342. Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah. So previously you have memorized and recited up the complete syllabus. So let's do a revision from Surah Al-Ala. Is that okay?
Okay.
All right. If I tell you the verse number, would you be able to recite from there?
Maybe.
Okay, so from verse 13 all the way up to the end.
Okay. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الذي يصلى النار الكبرى ثم لا يموت فيها ولا يحيا قد أفلح من تزكى وذكر اسم ربه فصلى بل تؤثرون الحياة الدنيا والآخرة خير وأبقى إن هذا لفي الصحف الأولى صحف إبراهيم وموسى.
All right, Jazakallah 7342. Let's go back. So you started from verse 13. Here, this is where you started from.
Yes.
So your memorization was really good. So, but in terms of pronunciation, I will highlight some things that you need to improve. So first of all, do you know what this letter is?
It's Azal.
Yes, Zal. And do you know how to pronounce this letter?
Z.
Okay, not Z. So let me give you an example. So all of these are letter Zal and they have a vibrating sound, completely different from the letter Z. Whereas here, this is the letter Za. Can you see?
Yes.
The shape is different, right? Zal is kind of turned at the end. So the letter Za, it has this a sound similar to the letter Z if we were to compare it to English alphabets. قَدْ أَفْلَحَ مَن تَزَكَّى. But this one, Zal, it has a vibrating sound. Okay?
Okay.
And we must differentiate between the sound of these two, okay? Otherwise, it affects the meaning, right?
Okay.
So can you recite this verse again? Verse 13.
الذي يصلى النار الكبرى.
All right, well done. Just a few other mistakes. So in verse 19, okay, here, do you know what mistake you made here?
Did I have to stress on it?
You did stress on it, but again, when you stress and you have to make a nasal sound, it's better to make it for a minimum of 2 seconds. So inna, okay? Rather than just quickly going inna. Can you hear the difference?
Yes.
Okay, can you try this verse?
إن هذا لفي الصحف الأولى.
All right, that was much better. And one last thing. So this letter here and this letter, they are the same letters. Do you know what this letter is?
It's صح.
Yes, that's right. Tha. And again, it has a hissing sound, a little bit vibrating sound, different from the letter seen, right? So here,
Yes.
you can see in verse 11, it's different from the letter seen. So when we are reciting, we must pronounce it differently as well. Okay. Thumma.
Okay.
Okay. Can you recite this verse?
Okay. ثم لا يموت فيها ولا يحيا.
All right, that was much better. So just keep practicing, and inshallah it will get better.
Okay.
The similar sounding letters, pay special attention to those. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Jazakallah. A7342. All right. Can we have the next student?
N8318.
N8318. Assalamu alaikum.
Hello, assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah. N8318. Previously, you have memorized and recited up to verse 5 of Surah Al-Ala. Have you memorized the next few verses?
I haven't memorized the next few verses of Surah Al-Ala, but
Okay.
I've memorized 3 verses of Surah Al-Shams.
Okay. All right, that's fine. So can you recite them? Start with Tawaz.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والشمس وضحاها.
Okay. Washamsi.
والشمس وضحاها والقمر إذا تلاها. And that's all I know.
Okay. All right, that's fine. Let me go to the surah. Okay. So first of all, here on this letter we have shad, right? And do you know what you have to do for this?
You have to do the nasal sound.
No, not nasal sound. That is only if the shad stroke is on noon, the letter noon, or the letter meme. Okay? In this case, you just have to simply stress on the letter, make a double sound. Okay? So, washamsi wa duhaha. Can you try it?
وَالشَّمْسِ وَضُحَاهَا.
Okay, so keep practicing. It should get better, and make sure to differentiate between the sound of these two ha. Okay, so this one, the sound comes from the middle of the throat. Waduha ha. The second one, it has a soft sound. Okay, so because they are right next to each other, it might be hard to differentiate, but we must do it. Okay, so can you try this verse once again?
وَالشَّمْسِ وَضُحَاهَا.
Okay, recite with me. Washamsi.
والشمس
وضحاها.
وضحاها.
All right, so keep practicing and it will get better. Secondly, I mentioned to one of the previous students, do you know how to pronounce this letter?
قاف.
Yes, that's right. And there are two types of cough, right? The one with the dots, and then there is this one with a soft sound, right?
Mhm.
Okay, I'm unable to highlight it, but you can see it in verse 12, right at the beginning. Kazabat. But this one has a thick and heavy sound. وَالْقَمَرِ إِذَا تَلَاهَا. Can you try it?
والقمر إذا تلاها.
All right, that was much better. So just try to memorize the next few verses as well. And even better if you can finish the surah. Jazakallah, and 318.
Thank you. Hafiz.
Can we have the next student?
A7351.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah. So previously, okay, I can hear my voice vibrating. Okay, I think it's better now. So previously, you have memorized the entire syllabus. So we will just do a revision from Surah Al-Ghashiyah.
Okay.
Let me tell you. So if you can just recite the first 5 verses.
Okay. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم هل أتاك حديث الغاشية وجوه يومئذ خاشية عاملة ناصبة تصلى نارا حامية تسقى من عين آنية.
All right. Jazakallah. A7351. So your memorization is good. In terms of pronunciation, I will highlight a few things which you need to improve on. So first of all, do you know what mistake you made here?
No.
Can you recite the verse again? Let's see if you make the same mistake.
وجوه يومئذ خاشية.
Okay. So when you say yawma, it sounds like yuma, which seems as if there's a dhamma on top of the letter ya. So make sure to open your mouth. Wujuhun yawma. Can you recite with me?
Yeah.
Wujuhun yawma izin khashiyah.
وجوه يومئذ خاشية.
Okay. Yawma izin. Say it again.
يومئذ.
Okay, that was much better. And now if you can recite the entire verse.
وجوه يومئذ خاشية.
All right, that was much better. I think everything else was fine. Okay. Do you know what you have to do here?
Give a nasal sound.
Yes, that's right. Nasal sound. Can you recite this verse again?
Amilatun nasibah.
All right, that was good. Just make sure to prolong it a little longer. Amilatun nasibah.
Amilatun nasibah.
All right, that is much better. All right, Jazakallah is 7351. Can we have the next student?
Yes. A7340.
A7340.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah. Just give me a second.
Surah Al-Ghashiyah, up to verse number 5.
Okay. A7340. Have you memorized the next few verses of Surah Al-Ghashiyah?
Yeah, I memorized all of it.
Okay, that's good.
But I've
can-
memorized it lately, so I might like mix it up or miss some verses new in my brain.
Okay, I'll help you. Can you start reciting from the beginning?
Okay.
Start with the verse.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم هل أتاك حديث الغاشية وجوه يومئذ خاشعة عاملة ناصبة تصلى نارا حامية تسقى من عين آنية ليس لهم طعام إلا من ضريع لا يسمن ولا يغني من جوع وجوه يومئذ نائمة لسعيها راضية في جنة عالية لا تسمع فيها لاغية فيها عين جارية فيها سرر مرفوعة وأكواب موضوعة ونمارق مصفوفة وزرابي مبثوثة أفلا ينظرون إلى الإبل كيف خلقت وإلى السماء كيف رفعت وإلى الجبال كيف نصبت وإلى الأرض كيف سطحت فذكر إنما أنت مذكر لست عليهم بمسيطر إلا من تولى وكفر فيعذبه الله العذاب الأكبر إن علينا حسابهم ثم إن علينا إيابهم حسابهم. Sorry.
Okay, can you recite from فَيُعَذِّبُهُ again?
Okay. فيعذبه الله العذاب الأكبر.
Yes, continue.
إن علينا إيابهم.
Okay, it's not علينا, إلينا.
Oh, okay. إن إلينا إيابهم ثم علينا حسابهم.
Okay, إن علينا حسابهم. All right, so let's go to the surah. First of all, well done for completing the entire surah, and your pronunciation was really good as well. Just a few mistakes here and there. So first of all, you were doing really well with the sound of ha in the first few verses, but then in the middle, I guess you kind of forgot, I'm not sure. And then in the end, again, it was fine. So just be careful with that. Most of the verses end with the letter ha, so make sure to have a clear sound of that. In verse 8, so verse 8 ends with the letter ain, and then we have the same letter in verse 12. And do you know how to make the sound for this letter?
Yeah. You have to do
Okay.
it from your throat.
Yes, middle of the throat, and differentiate it from the sound of Hamza. Okay? So, لا تسمع فيها لاغية. Okay?
Okay. Wait, can I
Mi-
just ask how would Hamza sound like then? 'Cause sometimes they get confused in that.
the Hamza has a soft sound compared to the letter Ain. Okay?
Okay.
So, yeah, I don't think there is an example which I can show you, but you can remember it that way. Okay, so this comes from the middle of the throat,
Yeah.
and Hamza is like from the top. Okay,
Okay.
so can you recite verse 12 again? La.
لا تسمعوا فيها لاغية.
Okay, that was much better. Next, in verse 18, I think this is more of a mistake in terms of memorization rather than pronunciation. So here, this is yanzuruna, but you said zaruna. Okay, so be careful that we have a madda here and not a fatha. So if you keep revising again and again, this mistake should be removed. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Okay. As for the Hamza sound, it's not top of the throat, it's bottom of the throat. Okay. So I made a mistake, so I just wanted to clarify that. Okay, and last mistake, I corrected you on the spot as well. In the second last verse, it's not Ilayna, it's Alayna. And then in the last verse, it's Ilayna. So,
isn't it the other way around actually?
So in the second last verse, we have Ilayna, but you said Alayna. And then in the last verse, we have Alayna. So it can get confusing, but just just keep that in mind. First it's kasra and then it's fatha on top of ain. All right, so Jazakallah 7340.
Jazakallah.
Now we are going to move towards the conclusion of our class. Can we have, okay, before the ending prayer, I'm just going to go over the homework quickly. Okay, can I please request the students to not raise your hands, because otherwise I can't open the homework tab because a pop-up appears on top of that. All right. So for the homework, as all of you know, this is the last week of the course and we have completed the syllabus. So try to memorize as much as possible. And if you have already memorized, then just keep on revising. And inshallah, on Friday, we will have our concluding session. And we have mentioned this before, that the plan has changed and now you have to use your normal class ID and normal password. And please try to arrive on time. It will be better if you can log in at 6:55, because we will inshallah start promptly at 7 o'clock. Can we have a student for the ending prayer?
N8348, but before I yes, N8348.
Okay.
Assalamualaikum.
Walaikum assalam wa rahmatullah. Can you please recite the ending prayer for everyone?
Auntie, can I ask you a question, please?
Yes.
For the concluding session, would it be under like G1 class time?
No, not G1. I just said that please try to sign in by 6:55. So we'll have this class on our normal time, which is 7 o'clock.
Okay.
Okay?
Thank
Alright.
you. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم اللهم ارحمني بالقرآن العظيم. Oh Allah, have mercy on me through the great Quran. واجعله لي إماما ونورا وهدى ورحمة, and make it for me the leader, the light, the guidance, and the mercy.
Jazakillah and 8348. So with this, we are going to end our today's class. Jazakallah everyone for attending. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu.